Okay. We were reading chapter 168. This one is called Neo Edo, which is interesting. Edo, of course, is the historic word for Tokyo. That was originally what the city was called up until, I don't know, like the 1800s, I think. Maybe earlier than that. I can't remember. Anyways, so, you know, the series being called Tokyo Ghoul and this being called Neo Edo. I don't know. What does it mean? It could be in reference to Furuta wanting life to become more like feudal. Like, if we think of what the Edo era was like, it was like still kind of regional conflicts between daimyos, local lords and stuff, who would employ samurai on retainer, who then became this sort of elite class of society that was kind of like thug cop. Okay, but that's redundant. They were cops, which were thugs, and sort of had their lay of the land. So is that what Furuta wants? Is like ghouls to have this sort of samurai position where they can just kind of go around feeding as they will, and there's no consolidated power anymore, but instead just like this endless warring factions, which is sort of like what the ghoul world was. He just wants to remove all the human element. I don't know. I'm extrapolating very far just from this title. Let's dive in and find out the actual answer. Sometimes the chapter titles don't really have much to do with the chapter at all, so who knows. Okay. They're jumping down, running. Oh, one of the big eyes is opening. That's spooky. That's a huge eye. That's like bigger than the eyes that were on the exterior, I think. If I'm remembering their little metal detecting adventures right. I didn't think the eyes were that big. Like, what is this thing? It's not Kaneki anymore. Ken is out. If it's not Kaneki, what is it? what is the part that's alive? Okay. Ayato holding them off. Very typical Tokyo Ghoul thing. I think this is just very smart standard operating procedure shown in writing. Is I'll occupy this battle, you go do this, and then we can check in on each fight, each adventure as seeing fit. Sure. Straight ahead, keep going, Kaneki. See you later. Counting on you, stupid brother. Calling him his brother. Wow, that's a big acknowledgement. This is good kind of catharsis for their arc. I think, you know, you could argue, oh, doesn't it even make more sense? Wouldn't it even be more emotional if his actual wife was down here? But are you really going to make a pregnant lady go take on this highly dangerous mission? That doesn't really make any sense. So here you still get a sense of that, like, real emotional, like, family connection. That basically this is what Kaneki wants his personal life to be going forward, is this family he's building. So you still get that, like, now that is in jeopardy very directly. Yeah, this is where I'm at. Like, I understand what Kaneki wants personally. It's just such a mystery as to how this will be resolved societally. Okay. They all got nuked. But they're okay. The ghouls are okay, because that was like an RC blast. So the humans are fucked? Or they're all ghouls. They have that disease now. I don't know. That attack took out over half of our men. Oh boy. Investigators who will in patrol will be here in 2 minutes. Okay. Getting reinforcements. Mado is here. I'm sure she'll get some moment of catharsis. Maybe. Hopefully. For her sake. Another person who's just suffered in like every chapter they've appeared in. No, she did get the smooch Amon at one point, and that dude's a big time hunk, so that's a win. She got ramen with him and stuff too. She had some W's. It's true. She had some W's. But took a lot of L's too. Okay. It's not over yet. Regrouping the front line. We get to see another wave of our heroes on Team Everybody Else. Suzuya going nuts. Got his well, I can't think of what it's called. It's the Kagune when it's on a ghoul. What was it called when it's the inspector's weapon? When they've adopted it. I can't remember. Anyways, he's rocking that now. This, I think, also provides a prothesis for his leg. Alright, alright. Okay, a lot of our main dudes, okay. Aura looking okay. Ure looking okay. The ghouls really coming through and shielding the humans, as promised. We're gonna win and live to celebrate for everybody at the Hakubi Garden. What is the Hakubi Garden? We're like so close. It's like past the point of let's make this intentionally mysterious. Now it's just like people almost casually referring to it, and yet we still haven't solved all these fundamental mysteries. Okay, now it's spawning a whole bunch of different crosses. And it's merged again with the body that was like separated and wandering around. Or maybe that happened a while ago. Maybe I didn't notice and that happened a while ago. So it's like, is that spot vulnerable now? Who is that? What's going on? It's definitely not Rize. Rize is definitely where Kaneki's headed. Kagune. It's wrapping around the owl. Okay, good job. The number one sufferer, Mutsuki. He's stepping the frick up after getting your huge amount of suffering power up. Heard a whistling sound before the attack. Yeah, that was the dude blowing on his whistle. And that made all the other V members take cover so they didn't get nuked by this. So is it going to be like a timing thing that they can anticipate that? Only the ghouls heard it. Black Suit seemed to know the attack was coming. It was a signal. Alright, alright. Someone's controlling the owl. I like that he gets this big moment of, you know, tactical insight from day one. This was like his tactician's power. So even here in one of the climactic battles. South. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Vibration of the earth. Super sensor! This is a cool sequence. This is something that has been, you know, on and off kind of like a functional plot element, is the super sensing of the ghouls. And there's been little brief sequences of like 5 footsteps coming from that direction, walking at this speed. It must be so and so or whatever. That kind of like deduction, which I always thought was fun. And here we're kind of seeing like the most crucial, intense usage of that yet. I appreciate that. I appreciate like in the finale trying to bring to a head all these different plot elements and stuff. And just also the sequence is just cool. This is like cool paneling and stuff, I think. Empty casings hitting the ground. Past that. Further ahead. Farther that way. Climb. I don't know, it's just cool. Just the like rushing feeling I think was very well executed. And then there they are. Oh, is that Donato? Before I was like, we've never seen these creepy clowns before. But this dude with the crosses over his eyes, that is Donato, isn't it? Okay, alright. I guess so. And then there's Uda. Uda's still down for this? Uda at no point was like, you're killing a lot of people I'm kind of buds with. I don't know, I guess Uda never cared about that, really. He just liked making masks and chilling. I don't know. This is wild. This is wild. Okay. Need to move. Find another blind spot. Okay, okay. It's still not clear how they're controlling the owl. Figured out the owl was a puppet. One of the doves is smart. And then friggin' Amon. Yeah, this is Donato. Okay, okay. This makes a lot of sense now. So now Amon is going to get super cathartic finale battle with Donato. I was pretty sure he wasn't at the previous one with Ure and Donato got away, but like that was one of the ones where I was just like, how did that resolve? There's just so many plot elements now. Okay, this makes a lot of sense, and this explains why this owl has such cross imagery and stuff. It's cool, really, because the cross isn't just like the Christian thing linking to Donato, but it's also like the puppeteer, you know, that uses that like cross of strings to manipulate or whatever. I think that's intentional. I think that's like intentional double iconography. That's cool. All right, Ammon crushing the fuck in. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, all right. It's all adding up now. I'm a little slow on the uptake, but we got there. We got there. And then Yomo shows up. Settle the fucking score. Never really understood you. I still don't, but I will stop you. Okay. And this is something else that I think this series is very masterful at. Something that One Piece, it like inverts One Piece in a certain way. Where in One Piece, almost always, there are exceptions, but almost always the first thing we learn about a character is at least a rough idea of how powerful they are or how powerful they like ought to be, right? We're introduced someone as Navy Admiral Fujitora, and you're like, well, shit, this guy's strong. He's a Navy Admiral. Or we're introduced to a pirate that's like Bounty, 1.3 billion. And you're like, well, damn, of course, this person's a force to be reckoned with, right? It's like those things are set out first, and then it's like they're hyped up, you know? And then you build in and buy into that hype, and you're excited to see them in action. Tokyo Ghoul, it's like the exact opposite. That so many characters, they just show up and there's some guy. Like, yeah, there's still like hierarchies and stuff. You'll meet a special investigator, and you're like, okay, that's obviously a very strong person. But so many other characters, they keep out of combat for so long, and all you just see is this growing like reputation of them, you know, very subtly, bit by bit, and it like reflects that character's own influence on the story. I mean, Furuta, of course, is like the major example here. You meet him and you think he's just some mook, some kind of semi-comedic side character. And then bit by bit, you understand like, oh, geez, this is the guy that's like behind so many things that are happening right now. And then Uta as well, I'm realizing here, has been in so many scenes, has been in so many, you know, situations, involved with so many characters. A very major character, you know, he made Kaneki's mask. And sometimes really feels like an ally, sometimes feels like an enemy. And we're like really trying to get our head around it. But what we've never understood is how strong he is. And for that matter, we don't really totally understand how strong Yomo is either. Like, we've seen him push to his limit in various fights. You know, I don't think we're supposed to think he's secretly like god tier or whatever. But it's like, damn, yeah, like I genuinely don't know how this fight is supposed to go. It's very, very interesting. All right, let's get into it. Chapter 169. Let's read it.